Magi means magic. That's where you get the word. Well, what stemmed from magi is the word magic today, or magician. A magician is a practicer, or a magi. A library of ancient sources, wise men of the East. Now I'm going to scroll down to Babylon. It said basically the coat of the Magosinians was a combination of heretical Zoroastrianism and Babylonian astrology, where they looked at the stars and they can see, and which we had. Issachar was able to look at the stars, okay? But they did it through the Most High's power. When Cyrus the Great conquered the great city of Babylon in the 6th century BC, the Magi, all right, the warlocks of that time, came into contact with the teachings of the city's astrologers, all right, known as Chaldeans. According to Diodorus of Sicily, a Greek historian of 80 to 20 BC, and author of a universal history, Babylonica Historia. So that's just more information on that, right? Now, when you scroll down to Bel, it says it is believed that Zoroaster was a monotheist, but that it was the Magi, there goes the word Magi again, who had sought to reintroduce the paganism of their ancient Iranian heritage. And that's all I need to really read on that. Well, then it goes on to say the Persians had learned the worship of Mithra from the Babylonians. So they borrowed each other's so-called religion, which all goes back to Satan any damn way. It said Mithra or Mithra was an ancient Iranian deity, which the Magi assimilated to Bel, the chief god of the Babylonians. Bel or Marduk was now there's another name in the scripture for Marduk. They say Marduk, but what's the other name for him? Is in Merodach, which is Marduk, which is in Jeremiah, I believe that's Jeremiah 50, was a species of dying god worship throughout the ancient Middle East. And that's what's coming, that's what's being worshipped among Jake right now. This situation with ISIS and how the U.S. have to help these particular people. These people, the name of these people are called Apostle Gabar. You can Google the word. You can put a Yazidi, which is Yazidi. These are the people. These are the people that are being persecuted by the ISIS. So if you put ISIS and the Yazidi and see what comes up. Because I was watching CNN the other day, and they were going into these people that are supposed to be Christians, but they're actually Yazidi, which are nothing but people that follow Zoroastrianism and early Mesopotamian religion, because they're from that region. All right? And the god that you mentioned, they worship the moon, which that's the same god. That's the same god that the so-called Islamic religion or followers, they follow a moon god. And the moon god, I believe his name, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is Habal. But now during that time period, it was the moon god was known as Nana. So there's a lot to that. That's why the Lord had to bring Abraham out of that madness that he was in. All right. Now you had read concerning they were worshiping other gods. Get that, and that's what Terah was doing. So the Most High separated Abraham from his relatives, because the Most High always separates somebody, always separate the minority or one person to receive his truth, and normally it's taken out of he's taken out of his family members, and the Most High ain't dealing with his family members, man. The Most High wasn't dealing with Terah. He wasn't concerned about Terah.
This is the book of this is the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 2. And Joshua said unto all the people, thus saith the Lord, power of Israel. Joshua 24 and 2. And Joshua said unto all the people, thus saith the Lord, power of Israel. Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time. Even Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor. And they...
let's get this straight. The other side of the flood is not talking about the flood during the time of Noah. It's talking about when they went through the, what was that? You had the Red Sea, you had the Gulf of Suez, and you had the Gulf of Akbar. They went through the Gulf of Akbar. And that flood was when the Most High opened up the sea, or that Gulf, and they went through it into the wilderness of Zin, right? And basically, when the Egyptians went to pursue them, he made it. He flooded them. He made the waters come back together. So that's what that's talking about. So somebody that's not on no level, like Nate, he'll say that. See, that's talking about Noah's Ark and all that, man. You know, they ain't talking about that. When Joshua was speaking about the other side of the flood, he was talking about when you were back there in Egypt. And before you was in Egypt, your line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Abraham came out of Ur of the Chaldees. That's where he was separated from.
Right. So it says, Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods.
Yeah, they served pagan gods. All right. Now you got that, Ak?
Yeah. This is from the Telegraph. It's entitled Death of a Religion, ISIS and the Yazidi. It says they are scared of lettuce.
I'm sorry. You said Yazidi, right? Let me go back to this, and I'm going to let you continue to read that. It says the Yazidi, all right, are a Kurdish, you heard of the Kurds, an Arabic-speaking ethno-religious community who practice an ancient syncretic, that word, or syncretism, goes back to them black consciousness guys. Because basically they all have different religions, but they kind of all get together and they kind of almost find a common, well, the common ground that they find is, the consciousness community. But the one is Islam, this is Nawabi, and this guy's Egypt, but they all have one common goal, which is to help the blacks. So that's the meaning of that word right there. Syncretic or syncretic religion, linked to Zoroastrianism. Now, if you click on the word, I'm sorry, Zoroastrianism, an early Mesopotamian, going back to early the Chaldees, religions. I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna click on Zoroastrianism, and then let's see where it leads us. It says Zoroastrianism is an ancient or Mazdaism and Magianism. Magianism goes back to the word magi, because the magi, that's where you get the word magician, came out of the word magi, all right? Is an ancient Iranian religion and a religious philosophy. It was once the state religion of Achaemenid, Parthian, and Sasanian empires, right? Estimates of the current number of Zoroastrians worldwide vary between 145,000 to 2.6 million. It says Zoroastrianism arose in